Hi, my name is Marie. I like to make things and I like to turn around and show you how I made those things. Welcome to my channel. I'm not going to ask you to like my video before you watch it. I'm not going to ask you to do that. What I will ask you to do is, if you enjoy watching someone try to figure out how to create a project with the supplies that they have on hand, then subscribe to this channel, because that's what I do with a lot of my videos. I try to figure it out as I go along. Yeah. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by JDiction. What's JDiction? JDiction is the #1 in my book place to go for your UV resin. Since we're using UV resin in this particular video, I would like to offer you guys a 10% discount. If you use the coupon code martiancreation, all one word, on the screen right here underneath my face, use that coupon code to receive 10% off your order of JDiction UV resin. So what kind of sizes do the UV resin comes in? They come in 500, the big 500 one. They come in 200, they come in 150, and it's pretty awesome. Like, even one of these little bottles will last you a good while on a few projects, okay? So JDiction sent me a couple bottles to show you guys and demonstrate for you guys how to use this resin, okay? They also sell mica powders, which, you know, of course, you know, I love my mica powders. I use it for everything. I have so many different types of mica powders, but I have never tried JDiction's mica powder, so we're going to try that today. Again, thank you so much, JDiction, for sponsoring this video. Now let me show you the supplies that I have on my table right now. These are all the supplies, but first I want to play with this. This project came about because I had this wire that I just never used. I bought it to make somebody something, and it just turned out to not be the right fit for the project, and so it just sat on my shelf and I never touched it anymore after that. I believe that this is 5mm wide wire. I believe it is aluminum. It could be aluminum, it could be copper. I kind of feel like it's aluminum. You see this flat wire around the edges of a lot of pendants. So I thought this will be perfect for this project. Of course, I have over here, I have my wire wrapping tools. I just have a bunch of them here. I'm going to need it later on, but not right now. So just make sure you have some basic wire wrapping tools. I need 18 gauge wire that I think I'm going to use for the jump ring. Of course, we need our UV resin, preferably JDiction. Then I have this JDiction pigment powder that I think I'm going to put into our little piece. I need a drill and a drill bit. The size will be in the description box below with all the other supplies. Then you're going to need a nice thick surface masking tape. And then I'm going to throw some foil in there. So I'm going to clean up my workspace like I always do, and then I'm going to come back. So I got my space all cleared out a little bit here. And like I always do, I always try to give you the supplies ahead of time, but then sometimes I forget. You're also going to need a UV lamp. And I'll put the one that I have in the description box below. So I'm going to choose a nice little color. I think I was going to do this lemon, but I think I'm going to do this orchid. Okay, it's a very pretty color. Okay, JDiction, I like your colors. Look at that, it's a pretty color. So this is what I'm going to put in the UV resin along with this. So I'm doing the foil, the color, mix it all together. Spicy, spicy, spicy. All right, so I'm going to use their smaller bottle. And so first things first, what you're going to do. So I'm going to leave that off for right now. I'm going to create myself a little surface. You want to have the sticky side up. So what I like to do is I like to take it and put it on the edge of my table. So I'm going to cut that off. And so I'm going to overlap it a good bit. You can't see it because it's clear, but I'm overlapping the tape. Overlapping it again. Okay. Here's a little tip about tape. This is a brand new thing of tape. What I like to do is, regardless of how I'm going to use it the next time, I bend it over at the end so that all you have to do is go like this and you can feel it, and it will, I'm not going to say just the tip. Don't even, you try to trick me into saying just the tip, but I ain't doing it. All right, so now pull this tape up, and now it is face up. Okay. Don't worry if it has little bumps in it or whatever. That's not important. We have our tape sticky side up, and then I'm going to take my very thin flat wire here. Okay. And so what I want to do is I want to create a blob shape. I'm just shaping it. I'm just going to shape it with my hand. So I know I want it to be about that big or close to it. So I'm going to cut the wire here. Set it. So now I have my wire here. So what I want to do is create this little blob shape. So I like these pliers. It's got nylon on the flat surfaces of it, and it's supposed to help me keep my wire straight and even. So I got a little blob. I want to make sure that this wire is flat on this tape, and that all the surface of the side of this wire is stuck to the tape. If it's not, that's okay. And I'm trying not to overlap this end here. I'm trying to keep it as flush. I'm trying to keep them flush with each other. There you go. All right. And I'm just using this acrylic coaster. I'm just, because it's a flat surface and it's not my hand. So I am just pushing it down onto the tape. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I say that a lot. It drives me bonkers. Okay. So, let's see. I'm going to take some of my stuff and move it around a little bit so that I have enough room for my UV lamp. And it always helps to have a piece of the tape folded over so that your fingers are not sticking to the tape constantly as you're touching it. So I got a little hold on it, and it's not going to stick to my hands as I'm moving around and touching it. Okay, so let me get my UV lamp. Let me open up my UV resin. I always love these caps because they are, the little cap just twists off, and that's pretty awesome. So next I want to take and do just a little layer of resin, and I'm going to cure that. I'm not trying to fill this whole thing up to the top. I'm just doing the one little layer on the bottom. I want to stick it in here. Do it for 60 seconds or so. Yay! The crowd goes wild. So I cured the first little layer. I want this to be as sparkly as possible. What I like about JDiction's powder is that they actually send you a little spoon with it, which is what you want to use while working with this powder. Okay. Open it up, tap it. And so I'm just going to take a little bit, not too much, just the smidgels. And so I'm just dropping it evenly all the way around it. It's not a lot that I'm putting in there. So I'm just going to move this around. This is just on the surface of hardened UV resin already. So I'm just moving this around on the surface. Just spreading it out. Okay. Alright, let's clean this off real quick. Now I want to get my foil and my pinchers. Where are my pinchers? Hello, does anybody know where my pinchers are? All right, these would have to do. Okay. I want to take a little bit of foil. Okay. Just dropping some pieces in there. If it gets on the tape, just move on with your life and get another piece. I like to put them in now because then I'll break it up once the the wet UV resin gets in there. Then I can break it all up and spread it out a little bit more. These really large pieces are not what I want in there, but I'm going to break it up with my little needle, okay? So let me hurry up and stop moving around. Okay, and you see it kind of like shrivels up as soon as the UV resin hits it, which is nice. Very, very nice, okay? So I'm trying to put as much in here as I can without overflowing it. I'm just letting it level out on its own. And it's coming out a little bit right there where the seam is, and that's okay. It will just pop right off later on. Okay. Okay, there we go. I have to look very carefully to make sure I am covering it evenly. Okay. All right, I think that's enough. So I'm going to take my pointy thing and I'm just pushing and moving the color. I'm moving the foil. I'm moving the foil around and all that. Just making sure that it's all even. Okay. Okay, I feel like I want a little bit more sparkle. Alrighty, alrighty. Alright, let's see here. I'm popping bubbles at the same time. Do a little bit more resin because a lot of it just came out. Okay. So I'm folding up the edge here so that I have something to grab onto when I'm putting it into the UV light. So here we go. Boop. So it doesn't stick to my glove. So I'm going to sit that in there for 60 seconds. And so whenever you're working with UV resin, I wear a mask sometimes, not a lot, because I have an actual fan that's running over here and it's just sucking the air from off the surface of my table so it doesn't get up to my face. So I just let it suck the air out. So here we go. Look at that. So I still have to level out the surface here. So I'm going to do that really quick for one more layer of UV resin. It actually had a little surface that was connected underneath this thing. I took that off so that I can just slide this in. Why didn't I think about that 16 projects ago? Who knows? Who knows? But just so you know, when you get this UV resin lamp, this is what it does. So, all right. So there you have it. I might do another layer because it seems like it's not flush with the outside. I think it lifted up a little bit, and that's okay. So I'm just gonna fill up that part right there. And it helps with this bottle because you can make a little doming effect on your pieces with it because it has that nice little spout. Some people brush on their resin, but this is how I brush it on. Just doing one more layer. Let me push it underneath this thing and do 60 more seconds. Alrighty, so there you have it. Now I'm going to take this and detach it from the tape real quick. So I'm just going to cut off this extra a little bit because it's a little wet still. There you go. There you go. So I'm going to throw it under there for another 60 seconds because it's a little wet still. Okay. So we got our nice little piece here. This is my good side here. You see how clear and beautiful it is. Now this is my bad side. Look at it from the tape. But that can be easily fixed with a little bit of resin. Okay. So I'm going to do that really quick. Just do a little quick layer. I'm not trying to do a bunch of resin on it. Just enough that it's a nice little surface. "60 seconds. Alrighty. So what we have left over, and I feel like I got some pieces in here. I have some spots in here that are a little bare. It's gonna bother me for the rest of my life. Smoosh it in there. Alright, so this is what we have. I'm gonna move my hands out of the way so you can see through it. I love it. So I'm gonna clean this up around the edges here. There you go. So now I have to decide how do I want it? I want it to be, do I want it? I kind of feel like I want it to hang like this. Because I'm strange like that. What am I gonna do? So now I'm going to take my drill, my Ryobi drill, and my drill bit, and I'm just gonna poke a little hole here. Now, I like to hold a paper towel up against the back of it so that I'm not poking this through my fingers. Yes, just the smartest thing you can do right now. All right, so I'm thinking I want it about right there. So pick your spot, drill your hole. Alright, and I can feel it coming out the other side. Reverse it. Come back out. Okay. And then I like to do it on both sides. Even though I drilled, it came through, I like to do it on both sides. Okay. Okay. There you go. Got a nice little hole right here. We got our little whatchamacallit. Now I like to grab some chain. Because this hole is down a little bit, there's a lot of space in between there. That means you're gonna need a really, really big jump ring. And so because jump rings don't traditionally come that size, I'm gonna make myself a nice, really large jump ring, okay? This is a jump ring mandrel that I have. I know this will, you know, of course it has all these different sizes and I'm trying to get as big as possible. So I'm going to use the actual handle of it because I really want a really big one. And so I am just going to take my 18 gauge copper wire and I'm just twirling it on here, making myself a little coil. And I don't like to make just one jump ring. I just think that if I'm going to make jump rings, it's better to make a bunch of them instead of just making one. Like, why? And you do that by coiling. So I'm coiling this, and when I end it, I want to make sure that I cut it in line with that. So I want these two ends to be in the same area at least, okay? So boom, okay? See how the ends are in the same area and not over here. So that's what I'm trying to do. And then we're just gonna pull this off. Now I am going to cut. I'm gonna have my cutters right up against this end right here, okay? And just start cutting down the line. If you want to, cut them one at a time. It's better that way. Okay. Oops. Alrighty, so instead of having one little jump ring, you have a bunch of them, okay? So we got a bunch of jump rings here. I want to have a little one to connect the lobster claw. I want to have another little one to connect the lobster claw too on both sides. So I'm going to pick my most good looking jump ring, and I'm just going to open it up and find the hole, feed it in, and then I'm going to close it. It's perfect. All right, so now we have our little jump ring on there. Now I am going to check to see how long I want. I don't want it to be too short because it's such a big piece. But I also want it to be interchangeable, which it can be interchangeable. So I can go and I make my own necklaces. If I want it to be short, I can make it short. If I want it to be long, I can make it long. And I think this time I'm just going to make it really long. Oh, what kind of sneezels was that? It was a sneeze. So I like how long that is. Okay, so I'm going to cut that. Good thing about this, you just cut it anywhere. And I like to rub the ends there just to make sure that there's no pieces just hanging off. Exactly the length that I want it to. And connect your jump rings. The good thing about having such a large jump ring here is that you could just slip your chain with your jump ring on through. And there you have it. Let me try this on. Yeah, so I'm gonna pull this up a little bit. So anyway, I just wanted to do a really quick video using my new JDiction UV resin. I really love this stuff. I love it. Again, thank you so much, JDiction, for sponsoring this video. You guys, thank you so much for watching. Soon you will be receiving an update on the new layout of Martian Creations membership thing. So I have a new layout and I will have a separate video talking about that. So just keep your eyes open for that video. Okay. So also be sure to keep up on what I'm doing at my Instagram account, Martian Creations. Also check out my TikTok because I'm starting to put more stuff on my TikTok. And I am excited about that because it's starting to get a little fun. As usual, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.